Well, I don't know if I'm live or not. It's not showing up on my Facebook page on my laptop. But it shows it's recording on my phone. And it says I'm live. It's not showing up. Oh, now I have it. On my Facebook. Sorry, I don't know how long you were waiting. On my phone. And it says I'm live. It's not showing up. Oh, now I have it. On my Facebook. Okay, I turned off my volume on my laptop. Let me just try to get straight here. I'm pretty much straight. Maybe just a tad off. I hope you're having a great afternoon. If you're here, if you could comment, I would love to hear your comments and see where you're from and what kind of day. We've had rain all morning. It's starting to get maybe a little bit more partly cloudy. Last night we had a tornado alert, but no tornado hit here. So it's just a warning, which is always good. So I'm here today to show you another fun fold using the Lily of the Valley bundle with the stamp set and the dies. And so here it is. We know this as a Z fold, but look, instead of, usually when you have a Z fold, you only have this little strip that hides back here to write your message in. But this Z fold has a whole card spot for you to sign. So it's different in that way. And it's for maybe when you have more you want to write. And, you know, it is kind of hard to fit everything into that little spot when you make it the other way. So now you have a whole big spot on the inside. And I cut this DSP. If you could tell, it's a continuous picture because I cut it all at the same time so that it kind of flows as it goes across. And I used this die from the die set, which I'm thinking some people said this is like a trestle, but I used it to make these fun shapes to go around my greeting. So we'll see how that works. And I used the in colors to decorate it. I used Darling Duckling. So I have the measurements written here. Let me find my book. It is Fun Folds Day 5. We did Day 4 the other day. So this one is much easier than the triple pop-up card. So I won't have any problem putting this card together like I did with the other one. But it did finally go together and it looked very nice. So that's all that counts, as long as the end product looks good. So I hope you've taken a screenshot. I'm going to move this over. And I am going to repeat the measurements as I'm using them. So first of all, our base is the usual base, which is 5.5 by 8.5. But you're going to score it at 2 1/8 and at 4 1/4. And then we're going to crease everything with our bone folder, which is always our first step. So that we can try to have a flat card. Now this one doesn't always lay as flat as other cards because it does have this on the inside, which gives it more bulk and everything on the inside. But we're going to start out trying to be as flat as we can. And then this is the part for the card part that goes on this panel. And this, of course, is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5.5. And again, we'll crease it. So that it will lay flat. And now we're going to get started gluing some things so that we don't have so many pieces laying out here. So these panels are 2 by 5 1/4. That's what these two panels are. So that makes the DSP 1 7/8 by 5 1/8. And you want to be sure that you put them on here I cut these out again so it's one continuous picture so we know it goes this one and then this one. Yep. And then that one. So there we go. It looks, maybe not. Let me see. For sure I know this one goes at this side. So let's see if this looks better here. That matches up better there. And then this one goes here. And that matches up. Can you see how it makes a picture? I had them mixed up there. So this is first, this is second, this is third. So let's get all these glued together. Again, if you're here and watching, if you could type a hello, perhaps my comments will show today. Some days they do, some days they don't. I really don't know how to change the comments, so I don't know why sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. Now I just have a little bit of a border on these, just enough to add just a tad of color. I want to be sure again that I put it in the right side up. This one is going to be so much faster than Friday's. I like the Friday card. It just has a few more pieces and a few more steps to get it together. But it's worth it because it's a pretty card when you finish. So now I'm going to add these to the card. Like I said, we're trying to get everything done so we don't have so many pieces laying here, because sometimes I end up losing them when they're all spread out. So I'm going to put this on here and center it. That's why I like using the liquid glue, because I have a little bit of playtime. When I use my stamp and seal and things like that, I don't get as much extra movement, so I can move it around after I get it on there. This one's going to go on the inside here. We're going to line it up so that it's even. This one is going to go on our card. Some smoky slate there on the bottom of that. I think it's from when I had my stamp set lined out. Okay. We're going to put this on right side up. And next we're going to add more of a border on this one. I probably should have cut my piece of Darling Duckling a little bit bigger, but that's okay. So we're going to stamp it here before I probably should have stamped before I glued it all together so I could have turned it over, but we're going to hope that we can get this right. I'm going to use the Smoky Slate. Oh, I don't use Smoky Slate that often, and sometimes they get hard to slide around if you haven't used them for a while. And I'm going to use the Lily of the Valley stamp set. I'm going to use this big flower here. And as long as I have this stamp set out, I'm going to get my saying out also. So I can just go ahead and put that on a block. Now I know this one doesn't fit perfectly on here, but it's okay because I'm not going to use all of it on because I don't want to take up all that room. I'm going to kind of let it hang off. First, I need to put some scrap paper behind here. These are when I write things down for my cards when I'm watching a video, to try to write down the measurements as they go along in the video. So we're going to put this right here. Now I didn't really put any words on the inside because I haven't decided exactly, is it going to be a thinking of you or a birthday, so I will do that when the time comes to send it. And I'm going to use my light Granny Apple Green blending pen to color in the stem here. It just adds a little bit of color to it. You don't have to color in the flowers because, of course, they're white. And it just adds a little bit to the card. Hi, Marianne. I'm so glad that you could join me. I'm just busy here coloring in these stems and leaves. I noticed I got a little bit of smoky slate here. I have this eraser for ink. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I can't find it. Here it is. So I'm just going to see if I can erase these little gray marks there. If it's a light color, most times you can get it to disappear, or at least get lighter. And I'll remember to write something there. So there we go. So now we're going to take this. We're going to add some glue. We're going to move away our stamps and the envelopes for the stamps. And I'm going to glue this card on our other card. So this is the exact same size as this panel. So you're not going to have really any of the Granny Apple Green showing. And I'm going to get this even so that it fits into the envelope. So there we go. So now we have our card. We could try to crease it a little bit more. But it really is going to pop up because it has that whole card on the inside there. So it's much more bulky than it is before you add the card. So we're going to say that's good. Now I have my words here. Let me get my other block. And I'm going to use Granny Apple Green. If I could, I have my Granny Apple Green out. But as, oh, here it is, underneath my Ternate and my dimensionals. And I punched these out with a punch. Now, you might wonder why I have two, and I'm going to show you why. So I'm going to do this is to a forever kind of friend, which I think is just so nice. It's a great saying. Ooh, it's got a little ombre look to it. I'm going to try again. I might have to go and re-ink my Granny Apple Green. There we go. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to turn this over and we're going to add our trellises or whatever these decorative items. So I'm just going to put some glue back here. And I'm going to kind of lay this on here and see how I like it after I turn it over. And I might have to move it some. Oh yes, I need much more showing on the top. Oh, look what happened to my forever friend. I must have had some ink or something. So let's take this off. We'll take this one off. Luckily, we already have another one cut here. So we'll stamp it again. I love the Lily of the Valley too, Marianne. It's just so pretty. So many things that you could do with it. That and the Scenic Coast. Those are my two favorites from this catalog. Okay, gonna try again. Perhaps I need to put out a piece of paper here in case I do have some ink or something on my glass mat that I can't see. So we're going to add glue again. We're going to add the trussels again. At the top and at the bottom. And our words look good, not all smeared around. So now we have that. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to have a piece of tear and tape waiting in the wings. Because first I tried putting the tear and tape down here, but because it's not even, I couldn't get the white from the tear and tape to come up off the stick. So I changed it, and hopefully I can do it again this time. So I'm going to say, let me see my up and my down. I'm going to start out up with the tail. Then I'm going to put a loop up. The idea is to try to hold all this so that you don't have any tear and tape. Now I gave myself 6 inches of ribbon, which I thought would be enough, but it might not be. So let's see if we do one. I cut it off. I'm looking for my ribbon scissors. Here they are. And we're going to take this piece of tear and tape and we're going to put it right over that. And we're not going to take the white off their tear and tape. I'll show you why in just a moment. So there we have a little bit of a loop. And on this one, we're going to make a loop and I will cut another piece for the tail. I guess maybe I need it more like 10 inches. I was just guessing. Which doesn't happen when you try to guess. You don't get it correct. But I had already put the ribbon on the card and I didn't want to try to take it off just to measure it. I love this yellow ribbon. Okay, so I'm going to make a loop with this one. And it's going to come out up here. I'm going to put this piece of tear and tape over it to hold it down. Now all I need is a tail. So I don't even need this long of a tail. Just a little tail that's going to stick out over here with that loop. And we'll put another piece of tear and tape. Now this looks really messy on the back. And we can only put glue on half our label. Otherwise, we're going to glue the card shut. And you can still maybe feel a little bit sticky from the glue that's coming through this lattice. So what I did is, I'm not going to use this one. That one turned out so nasty. I'm going to find my punch, which is right here. And I'm going to cut out another one to go on the back. That's not quite big enough. if I could find a piece here that's big enough for me to do that with. Here we go. And so I'm going to put glue on here. Now maybe this one doesn't feel as sticky on the sides as this one did when I put it together. So maybe I really wouldn't need one behind here, but I'm going to put it anyway, just to kind of give it a smoother look. I mean, you're only going to see that much of it, but it looks much nicer that way. And now we know that we want to glue this down to here. And we only want to, I'm going to say I only want to put glue from this little indentation to the end. That way I will for sure know I didn't get anywhere I'm not supposed to. Get this on here straight. So now we have that. And we just have one more thing, and that is to put on the embellishments. These embellishments are so pretty too. These are last year's in colors. I'm looking for my pick tool. Sometimes I watch Sue Cantfield, and when she can't find something, they play a game where when she finds it, then you take a sip of your water or whatever drink you have. Because she's like me, we lose things quite often. Okay, 2 of them popped off, so we're going to put one up here. As long as this one popped off, we'll put it down here. And we'll take a medium-sized one, and we'll put it over here. So now we have our card. And remember, this opens up so you can write a long message if you like. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. I hope you like this Lily of the Valley card. I'm going to have another Lily of the Valley fun fold tomorrow. I didn't make one to show an example yet, but I have an idea in my head. But what I did want to show you before I go is I got the shimmer pens, brushes. They're called shimmer brushes. They come in the new in colors. And I used Spotlight on Nature, and I try to use every color. So here's Barely Blush, Hydrangea Hue, Peaceful Pine, and on this butterfly I did Golden Globe and Crisp Cantaloupe. Now I know that it's really hard to see how shiny these are on the camera, but I just want to tell you, when you paint with these, I'll just show you real quick on the back of this one. It's almost like you're painting with a marker. See, it just comes out so nice and smooth, and then it's all glittery because it has the glitter in there. So I thought these were pretty cute. I might even put this butterfly in the inside of my card just to kind of, because it's got Darling Duckling, or no it doesn't, it has Golden Globe. Golden Glow. I keep wanting to say globe. But it'll show off some of the shimmer pens, or shimmer brushes, however you want to say them. Hopefully maybe we'll get some shimmer brushes in other colors. So there we go. That just kind of brightens up the inside a little. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.